both the topics, I think both the words you are pretty much aware of. You are you know some basics about it already. So let's see how much we can add on to this. So if we talk about this, that diseases first of all. So last class I must have told you that this is that word itself explains that without easiness. Have I explained you that?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine,
Yes, miss.
good. So disease, that means you can break down this word into two parts, and disease, that means without ease or easiness. Okay, so when you don't feel good, when you don't feel easy, when you are not comfortable about anything, then that condition of your body is called disease. Okay, disease doesn't mean that you should have a big label like malaria or diabetes or something like that. It is just a condition of a body in which you don't feel easy. Okay, so let's talk about when we talk, say this, that this word is very important when we talk about the disease. So health. Okay, so the this word is commonly used by everybody, and this condition, this particular state of your body, healthy state of your body, has to be obtained by you must be knowing that by following the regular routine with the exercises and the healthy food and the um, uh, healthy fresh food. If you eat, then health can be maintained easily, and for that you should incorporate everything in your routine, that is like a routine that waking up early in the morning, having a good sleep first of all, then waking up, then maintaining the hygiene, then having the proper type of meals, that means breakfast, lunch, then snacks, and then dinner. At your age I am talking about this, because you are all kids. You should have a proper type of food at every interval, because the body at your age does so many activities at one time. So kids need a good amount of food and at a good interval of time. That is why, but the thing is, you should not eat anything at random. If you have a program balanced diet, then only the healthy state can be maintained. And with the food, you should have the proper exercises routine also. Okay, only eating doesn't makes you healthy, only exercise doesn't makes you healthy. Both of them should be balanced. Okay, so because at your age, many of you are very much influenced by the formation of that 6 packs and 8 packs, 10 packs. I don't know how many packs people are having, but the formation of that type of structure of the body, many of the uh, kids at your age are very much influenced by that type of thing, like gym and all that. But gymming is not for you right now. Okay, so the only the routine exercise like running and all that is almost enough for you. Playing outside, when you play out, that is also a good one to do. So health can be maintained by all these things. It's just a state. It's a state of your body. Okay, state of your body. Now state can be included with like first it can be named as a physical one, then mental, and then social. Okay, you need to be uh, 10 on 10 for each and every state, then only you can be called healthy. Now how can you say that all these three can be maintained? Let's say first of all physical. Okay, physical means that you should not have any type of injury on your body, uh, and no scratches or no pimples or no nothing, means anything which is not normal for your body. Even the pimples are not the normal thing. Okay, it's not a good one. So your skin should be very much healthy for it. Then you should your system, everything, that means you should not a headache or stomach ache or anything like that. Physical state can be maintained like that. And then uh, uh, are you getting me what I'm saying? Is it clear to you all? Okay, fine. So physical, that means no
Yes, miss.
injury. Okay, fine. No injury should not there. Aches should not be there. That means your body should not have pain and all types of. Even if sometimes your body feels the muscular pain, you don't feel. You just feel tired. You just feel lazy. You just feel like not getting up from one place to and do something. That is also not a good thing. So all these things should not be there to maintain the physical state. Now, let's talk about the mental one. Okay, so definitely this one is sometimes you
Miss,
just
what you have written after injury?
injury aches, beta.
Okay.
ACHES, stomach ache, headaches. Is it clear? Okay, then let's talk about the mental state. So mental state is definite when you were in the school were regular, when we talk about those days. So in the class, you label one person, one student definitely as a mad person. Okay, you just call him he's a mad, he will not understand anything. But the thing, it should not be taken like that. The mental means uh, that suppose if you are in a group and if you are uh, uh, not able to maintain the things which should be normally done by every other person, then it can relate it to the mental state. Or a other thing like that, like depression. Okay, or like sadness. You should not be sad. You should not be depressed about. Like suppose if your marks are not enough in the exams, then you feel sad. Then you don't feel good. That is the mental state of your body. And some people are suffering from these conditions like depressions and all that. This can lead to the this can lead to the diseases, like they can have that obesity. You must some because and when the people are depressed, when the people are sad, sometimes they eat lot. When they eat lot, then they become fat. Then they become more unhappy about their physical state. Then they become more depressed. So all these things are happen due to the mental condition. So you should be feel happy, you should feel relaxed, you should feel not burdened by anything. Okay, stress should not be
Stress
there.
can also come under mental.
Pardon, I can't hear. I didn't got you.
Miss, I was telling that stress can also come under
Yes,
mental causes.
yes, stress. If somebody is tensed, if somebody, basically, you have seen your mother. she is always stressed. If the food is not cooked at on time, then she is stressed. If the work is not done on time, she is stressed. And if something which is happening out of her context, which she didn't understand, then she got stressed. So basically, women's in the house, the females in the house, those who are especially in the mother category, they suffer from this part. So that is why they are always worried. They are always uneasy for something or other. That is called a mental state. Okay, they are not, they don't have any type of disease in them, but the thing is they are not feeling easy. They are not feeling comfortable with anything which suppose anything disturbs their life. Okay, so that is the mental state. And another one is called social. This is very much required, and it should be like it is very much closely related to the mental state. Sometimes you must have seen around you that suppose wherever you live, wherever your house is, and nearby in nearby area, you must have seen this, that one of the family or any one of the member of the place where you live is always fighting with everybody, is shouting on kids, is uh, is not good in the response. If you suppose if you ask for some type of celebration, everybody will say yes except him, that particular individual. So socially he is not first of all comfortable, and uh, it's all because of the behavior of that individual, that others just label him mad, others just label him very cruel or bad person or something like that. So you have to be socially also very healthy. That means you should not be always say yes to everybody. That doesn't mean that. Okay, you can say no, but the thing is there are some things that you have to adjust. There are some things that you have to manage when you are living in a group, when you are living with the people around you, and that is called social healthiness. You have understood this? Clear? Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Okay, fine. So what comes under social is nothing but the behavior problems. Okay, how you should behave with elders, how you should behave with kids, everything comes under the social criteria. That you must have seen that some people are very bad with the elders. They don't know how to talk, and some people are very bad with the kids. They don't know how to behave with the kids. They just discourage them. They
Miss,
just
how will behavior affect the health?
definitely it will affect the health. Suppose, let me say that if somebody who is not behaving good with everyone, okay, that means the that particular individual is thinking something inside in his head. That means his mental, that his brain is working something on very negative. Okay, and that can lead to the physical fight sometimes. That can lead to the these type of people can injure themselves. So that can lead to the uh, um, danger for their health. Understood this? Clear? Okay,
Yes,
fine.
miss. Yes, miss.
Okay,
Clear.
okay, fine. So let me take one another example also. Suppose when you are playing in a ground, okay, suppose you have a you are playing some sports and and you have a team with which you are playing, your team and your opposite team is there, okay, and suddenly one of the member of any of the team gets angry and every time socially he is like, it's my bat, so my orders, if my team, my orders, and very dominating, very cruel, very rude, or very uh, disturbing, like that particular individual will focus on the fights instead of that particular sports, okay, that is a social unhealthy behavior. Are you getting me what I'm saying?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so that is how it is happening. So if that particular individual is behaving like this for one day, there may be possibility nobody will say anything. Second day, everybody will ask him to stop, not to do all these things. But after 3 4 days, what will happen? Somebody some other member from the team will just get angry, will either have a good argument or a fight or something like that can happen. So that particular individual who is already very bad with it will either have a injury is by fighting and all that, or mentally it will start that particular individual will start thinking of harming that particular the others, or they have that sort of thinking that is not good for the whole team. So that is what the social unhealthiness is. And you can call that criminals which are living in our society. They are among us. We don't identify the people with their or with their faces. You don't. You can't say that if you are traveling, if you are outside your house, you can say that somebody who is next to you and you are not knowing him, he is a very good person. He can be the criminal also. Okay, so they are socially unhealthy people. Okay, understood this?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So this is what is happening. And social and mental health are very much related to each other, because the people who is not behaving good, they are thinking everything which is very much negative and very much bad. So social and mental health are very much linked with each other. So that is why you should be physically, mentally, and socially sound when we say a perfectly healthy person. Is it clear to you? What do you mean by health?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So, not feeling good? I think the last response was from the girl. Am I right?
No, miss.
Okay, fine. No,
Aditya told.
no.
Miss
Okay,
Aditya told.
okay, fine. We have one girl in the group also, right?
Yes, miss.
She's not there today. Okay, fine, fine. So sorry, Aditya. I just felt that it was I didn't identify with the gender with her voice. Okay, so I'm very sorry for that. And so let's say this is we call health. And now see, there are if let's focus on this chapter, that how these diseases have some categories. And last I have introduced them also, categories, that is first infectious and non-infectious. I think I must have told you about this, that some are infectious and some are non-infectious. Okay, or you can use the word communicable or non-communicable. This terminology can also be used, communicable or non-communicable. Got it? So this also can be named. Now see this, that because these one are the wide category of the diseases, and nowadays we are suffering from a very dangerous one, COVID. Okay, so it's a highly infectious communicable disease, and we have seen that what type of conditions nowadays is there, that you cannot even greet to people by shaking their hands, or just you just can't touch them in any of the case. So that is how in danger it can be, the infectious one. Okay, so let's talk about first. And non-infectious are also very dangerous. They can also lead to the death of the people, like diabetes, blood pressure, heart attacks, or many other cancer, sometimes cancer, and very other many all these diseases, big names will come under the non-infectious one, and they can lead to the death also. But the thing is, people are very much afraid, or very much in the fear when we talk about the infectious one. Okay, people are suffering from diabetes. If you say, take one individual and tell him that you are suffering from diabetes, he will get tensed, he will get worried, but not as such that he is going to die. Okay, but if you say you are suffering from corona, that person will die within he will almost dead when he hear about it. Okay, so people are very much afraid of this
Miss,
category.
even snake bite. Miss,
Yeah,
even snake bite.
yeah. That is a very. I think you must have seen that on television or something like that. Yes, snake bite can cause, uh, uh, can lead to so much of fear in some person, and they just die without knowing that the snake is poisonous or non-poisonous. Okay, so just due to the fear developed in their body. Okay, so let's talk about this infectious category is the one which is responsible, which is caused by uh, pathogens. And pathogens are nothing but the causal organisms. Okay, pathogens are causal organism. That means these organisms can cause the disease. Okay, infectious disease. So they are called pathogens. Now these pathogens can be anything. They can be virus, they can be bacteria, they can be protozoans. Okay, they can be even the worms sometimes. There may be the possibility. That means they may be microscopic also and non-microscopic also. Yeah, okay, fine. So, but the thing is, the one which you can't see are more dangerous. The one, yes, hello,
Ma'am, fungi.
fungus. Oh, yes, fungus also. Okay, so all these things are microscopic in nature. You can't see them through your naked eye, and uh, the one which you can't see are more dangerous. They are more lethal. They can cause a disaster when they infect the body. So worms you can see, yeah, they are non-microscopic. They are not microscopic in nature, but all these things are microscopic in nature. So so these are called causal organisms because they can cause the disease to the healthy individual. And uh, these particular pathogens are sometimes facilitated by the vectors. I will use this term also. Vectors and pathogens are different. Vectors are the one, that means these are also the organisms. These are also the living organisms which act as a vehicles for pathogens. They will just carry them from infected person to healthy one. Okay, so vectors are acting as nothing but the vehicles, and they are also organisms. We will just come up with these categories right now. And pathogens are the organism which causes disease. Do understand that vectors don't cause the disease; they just carry these pathogens from one place to another. Okay, they just facilitate their transport, but the pathogens are the one which causes the diseases in the healthy human. So uh, uh, these things, and all these pathogens and vectors are supported by means of spreading. Okay, they are facilitated by means of spreading, that means air, water, okay, food, then through physical or sexual contact. So they can spread through this, and the spreading is that is supported because of vectors, and vectors carry the pathogens. So these three terms you should understand when we are talking about the infectious or the communicable diseases. And you should know that when you are talking about the infectious or the communicable diseases, definitely these three will be involved in it. Okay, now if we classify this infectious diseases, this type of can be of two types. Like if we do this, that means direct infectious diseases and indirect infectious diseases. Okay, uh, direct, let me say that if we talk about measles, you must have heard about measles,
Yes, ma'am.
fine. Then chicken pox, then many of the fungal infections, that is like on skin, on hairs, okay, even the dandruff. Some people are suffering if in uh, the house, if one of the person is having dandruff, then there may be the possibility that others are also are having it. Why it is called direct and why some are called indirect? uh, Direct means you don't do anything to spread them. They are uh, just the due to their your presence near the unhealthy person. Your presence near the diseased person can cause that particular disease sometimes. Okay,
Which
but
fever can also come under direct.
which one?
Miss fever.
Fever. Okay, fine. Fever, actually, beta, fever is not a disease. Let me tell you that fever is not a disease. Fever is a symptom. Fever is a symptom. That means an indication that you are suffering from a disease. Is it clear to you? Got it?
Why do we have fever?
Why you are having a fever?
Ma'am, means in fever, what do get thought?
Your voice is very much disturbed. Ask me again. Ask me again, beta. Can you hear me? Okay, you have missed why our body is not. um, why our body is hot in fever. Okay, we will see this. Let's see first of all direct, indirect. Then I will go for the symptoms only. Then you will understand. Okay, so direct. That means the presence in the house can cause you that particular disease. You must have seen that if somebody who is having a good big family, and if one kid is suffering from chicken pox, there may be the possibility that all the kids are having the same chicken pox in the same family, and it is just because of they are living in same area, same space is being shared by them. Okay, so that is why they are called direct infectious diseases. And indirect one are are those which can be caused just by, suppose that you are touching someone. Okay, that means physical contact. And there may be the possibility of sharing. Okay, if you share the same clothes, if you share the same utilities, like that's why we say that like toothbrush and tongue cleaners are kept separate from, no matter if you belong to the same family, it should be separate from each and everybody. And it they through food, through water, anything can be the possibility. And through vectors are involved, that is called indirect infectious diseases. That means if in your area vectors are not present, then there may be the possibility that you don't suffer from that particular diseases, but the area near some which is nearby your house where vectors are present, there may be the possibility that those individual can suffer from the diseases. I will take the example, then you will understand much more clearly. So what you have to understand is that, first of all, if I say that how indirect has been, what is vector? Okay, so that is what I informed you in the with this, that the vectors are the organisms which act as a vehicles for the pathogens. Okay, pathogens cannot move from one place to another on its own, so they require some vehicles, and they select some of the organisms for it. I will take example, then you will understand. Let's see. Let me write about, take one which is very much common for this, that is called malaria. You must have heard about it. Okay, so malaria is a very common disease, and in general, many of most of the population have must have suffered from it. So the thing is, definitely it's not a good one to have. It can be very much disastrous. It can lead to the death of the individual also. Okay, but let's see how malaria is uh, being caused. It has a causal organism. Now see, malaria is caused by, that means causal organism for malaria is plasmodium. Okay, plasmodium. It's a very tiny microscopic organism which you cannot see. Okay, plasmodium is nothing but the protozoa, protozoa category. Okay, so this plasmodium cannot move from one place to another. That means one place to another, that from one individual to another individual. How it will go? it requires something, it requires the vehicles for that. So what it will have, it will have higher the vectors, and these vectors are nothing but female Anopheles mosquitoes. Okay, so it will select female Anopheles mosquito as their vectors. Now these vectors will, what they will do, they will just carry the plasmodium in their mouth. That means this mosquito will have the plasmodium in their mouth, and what once they are here, they will mix this plasmodium with their saliva. Okay, then what they will do, if this particular person is having a malaria, then this mosquito will come and bite this individual, and after biting this individual, it will suck the blood, and blood is being sucked, and along with that many of the plasmodium will enter the body of the mosquito, and then it will go to the healthy individual, and it will bite to that individual, and it will give out the saliva inside the healthy human body, and that is how the plasmodium will enter from one individual to another. So plasmodium on its own will not go from one person to another. So that is how it will select a vector for it, that is female Anopheles mosquito. And means of spread for this mosquitoes, that means mosquitoes uh, mosquitoes should have a good number of population for it, and I think you must be knowing that waterlogged condition. Okay, waterlogged at one place, you must have heard about the advertisement also that water should not be kept open in your house because mosquitoes breed in them. Have you heard it? Have you heard about them?
Yes, miss.
Okay, yes. So that is how is the difference between plasmodium, that is causal organism, and the vectors. Got it? If now, so see, if plasmodium is absent and only female Anopheles mosquito is there, so no plasmodium, it will not lead to the malaria, because Anopheles doesn't cause you the malaria. It is the plasmodium which is causing you malaria. Now, see, if mosquitoes are not there, then also malaria will not be there, because it doesn't have the facility to go from one person to another. So that is why government or the people who are telling you to stop the malaria, to control the malaria, what they will say, that don't allow the mosquitoes around your home. So no mosquito, no malaria. Is it clear to you? Got it? Okay, fine. So this is how it is being done. So reason is that scientists have not developed the that means no type of chemical is there which can kill plasmodium, but they have the chemicals which can kill the mosquito. So if you can't kill the plasmodium, kill the mosquito, so that malaria will not be spreaded from one place to another. Got it? So in your house, if mosquitoes are not there, or when you go outside, if no mosquito bites are no mosquito has bitten to you, then you will not suffer from malaria because you don't have the contact with the vectors. Okay, but in your house, if you have mosquito, and those mosquito must have traveled from very large distances, and if they have come in contact with the unhealthy person, then definitely they will cause a malaria. There may be the possibility that you may suffer from malaria because of the bite of the mosquito.
Mosquitoes.
Okay, fine. So that is how the chain is working. And
Miss, dengue also.
yes, I will come up with the dengue also. And means of spread. That means no water is locked at one place. No mosquito will breed. No mosquito will breed. So no transport of plasmodium, and no transport of plasmodium. That means no malaria. Yeah. Do you got the link with this? Have you got the link with this? Is it clear?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, fine. So let's classify all these things, that how these have causal organisms. I think a good chart is given in your textbook regarding this. All the diseases are there and all the causal organisms are there. You can have right now in your notebooks also, and that will help you to understand, and that you can relate that part with your textbooks. Okay. So first, just have one column, that is name of disease. Okay. Then you can have a causal organisms. Then you can have the vectors. Then you can have the means of spread. Okay. And then you can have the symptoms. Understood? So this is how you can prepare your own chart. That is name of disease, causal organism, vectors, means of spread, and symptoms. Now see this, that you have some of the infections which are caused by virus. Some are caused by some other things. So, but your book is focusing basically on virus. So we will consider those only. Okay. So first, let's take up all the viral diseases. That is, first one is influenza, or commonly named as flu. Okay. So first should be the influenza. It is caused by virus. Okay. So virus, basically for flu, they don't have the vectors. Okay. So they don't require vectors, but they spread easily with air, water, or food, means of spread. And then you have list of symptoms that you can relate with your textbook, and you can write, because it's a lot of long list is there, but I will write some of them. Okay. So first disease, what we say is that flu is very common for everybody. Okay. Flu is not a big disease, but it disturbs your 1 week. When you have the flu, when you have the common cold, then your 1 week is definitely is going to be disturbed with this. So it is caused by a virus. And means of spread, air, water, food. And you must have experienced that when you were in the school, in the classroom, if somebody is suffering from common cold or something like that, infection in the throat, and as you are sitting nearby only, there may be the possibility after 2 to 3 days you are also suffering from that flu. There may be the possibility. And there may be the possibility that you don't even suffer because your immunity is strong. So you surpass that virus easily. But this is how it spreads. It's through air, water, or if you share the food, there is the possibility that it spreads easily. Okay. So this is how influenza is caused. And this influenza gives you the symptoms like fever, high fever suddenly. Okay. Then you have you sneeze a lot, you have a throat infection, Okay. Your voice just gets worse when you have this, and high fever comes to you, and so it is just suddenly it will you will have fever, and after 24 hours sometimes that you are all okay. You will feel that no fever is there. So that is how fast this particular infection is. So you can just go through the textbook where the influenza is written, the disease caused by virus. Under that heading, it is there. Then, have you gone through it?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. Easily understood.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Any doubts regarding that para?
No, miss.
Fine. So influenza is one of them, which is caused by virus. Then you can add on to the measles. Okay, that is also caused by virus. No vectors, particular vector is not there. And the means of spread is here also the water and all that. Water, food can be the reason. And here basically the one who is affected are the kids, are the children. So they have fever, they have throat infections, and sometimes you can see a good number of boils on the body of a kid. So these are called measles. Boil, just read it in your textbook again.
Miss, what is the meaning of contiguous?
Contagious. Contagious means that it spreads easily.
Okay, miss. And miss, nasal discharge?
Nasal discharge, that means the one mucus which is coming out from the nose.
And miss,
Nasal,
eruption of
na-
red papules?
nasal means nose.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so and what you are asking again, next thing?
And miss, eruption of red papules?
Red papules are nothing but the boils on the body. That's why I took the simple language for it.
Okay, miss.
Red type of that boils will develop on the body of the children's, and
Miss, and miss, a blister?
yes, like just like the blisters. Got it? Fine.
Yes, miss.
Fine. So let's take up the AIDS, the next disease. And I think you must be aware of the full form of this, that acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay. Now see this. This particular disease is caused by type of virus, that is HIV. Okay, HIV virus causes this disease. Okay, no particular vector is there, but means of spread is sexual contact. Okay, see, there is a difference between physical contact and sexual contact. Okay, so we cannot write physical contact over here, because if you are near the person who is suffering from AIDS, and you if you touch him, if you hug him, or if you just shake the hands, that doesn't mean that you will also have the AIDS. Physical contact doesn't lead to the AIDS in the healthy person. Is it clear to you? So difference is there with this. So use the words like that only. So sexual contact can be the reason. There may be the reason that if you have a blood transfusion, that means blood transfer. That means if you are getting the blood from the infected person, if somebody who is suffering from AIDS and that person has been donating the blood, and that blood is obtained by somebody who is already very much healthy, and that can lead to the AIDS into that particular individual. And first reason is this, and third reason can be the through pregnant mothers to babies. Or fourth reason is breastfeeding. If suppose mother is feeding to a baby and the mother is suffering from the AIDS, then there may be the possibility that the baby will have it too. Is it clear to you? So means of spread are very different for this particular virus. Okay, it is not through water, not through food, not through air. Got it? And symptoms. Symptoms, I will tell you that because the name itself suggested that acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Now, just have the idea what I am saying. Uh, you because nowadays you must have heard about the immunity a lot because of corona, and you must have heard that those who have good immunity, they don't have the coronavirus infection, and if they have it, they can easily uh, uh, cure it or easily come through it without having any harm to their body. Have you heard about it? Are you clear with the word immunity? Okay,
Yes.
fine. Okay, fine. So here, this disease, what is happening? The name is immunodeficiency. Deficiency, you know, deficiency means, let me write down over here that deficiency, if you say, it is lack of. You must have heard about the deficiency of vitamins, deficiency of protein, deficiency of iron. Have you heard about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so deficiency of vitamin means the person is having suffering from lack of vitamins, or the required vitamins are in very less amount in that individual. So that is how the deficiency word can be used. So see here, it is called immunodeficiency. That means the person who is suffering from AIDS, his immunity is suffers with the deficiency. That means immune system is very weak. All the soldiers in the body who are fighting the diseases are just uh, dead, or they are just not active. Is it clear to you? Immunodeficiency word.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so what happens, that person whose immunity is very low, already very low immunity is there, then that person will suffer from several other diseases, several other diseases like pneumonia, like tuberculosis, like sometimes like uh, even cancer, or anything. because the immunity of that particular individual is very low who is suffering from AIDS. So what happens that because immunity is low, other diseases will harm the individual, and the person will not die because of AIDS. He will die just because of other diseases. Understood? Because uh, doctors cannot give the medicine uh, because the person is already very much weak, the body is very weak. So huge amount of medicines cannot be given, so that person will die with the other diseases rather than the AIDS. Is it clear to you? Understood what I said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is how HIV virus, once it is entering inside the body, then what happens, it will just weakens your immunity, it will just um, uh, destroy your immunity. Then once the immunity is destroyed, then the person will suffer from other diseases, and these other diseases will lead to the death of that person, like cancer, like TB, like pneumonia, can lead to the death of that person because uh, the immunity is very low. So doctors cannot give you the enough amount of the drugs required. So that is how the person will die. And this particular disease is spreaded by these means: sexual contacts, blood transfer, either if mother is suffering from AIDS already, and if she becomes pregnant, and after the baby which is developing inside her, that will be suffering from that particular disease, or through breastfeeding. Understood this? You can read your textbook if you want. Have you gone through it? Is it done? Is it clear, beta?
Yes, miss. Clear.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Everybody has gone through the textbooks. Any doubts? If are there, if you have not understood, then ask me. Clear? Shall I move further? Okay, fine. So fourth one, let's take up the another diseases in which you are taking the. Let's take one. This is one because this we have understood already. That is malaria, and malaria is caused by the protozoan, that is Plasmodium. Okay. And the vector for it is female Anopheles, mosquito. Okay, and means of spread is definitely the water, and the symptoms are the fever with chills, and definitely you feel your heavy throat, but the most important one is this, then headache, body pain, everything will be there. Okay, so this is the one which we have already discussed. And fever with chills, that means when you are having malaria, the person who is having it, if you cover him 3 to 4 blankets, then still that person is shivering, that person is feeling cold. So it is because these chills are produced from the body itself. Okay, your body is balancing or trying to calm down the whole system, and that is why it produces chills. And you have a high fever with it, so the body is having high temperature at that time, and same time it feeling the chillness of that particular infection also. So that is how the malaria is. Then you can have, let me take up further, if I say, is dengue. Okay, so dengue is caused by dengue virus. I am writing all virus one with the blue so that you can understand. And it is spreaded by a type of mosquito. Aedes aegypti. It is also a mosquito. Okay, and definitely water is the condition means of spread for it. And same here also, fever and all that are the symptoms. Fever, see, symptoms, if you read different books, 1 or 2 symptoms must be different from each other, so you can use your textbooks to write down the symptoms when you are writing this. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so this is how it is being there. Then you have one more disease with it, is that okay, that is also caused by virus, spreaded by Aedes, and means of spread is water, and that is also a fever. And but the joint pain is a very important symptom for this, because the person who has suffered the chikungunya, and uh, he is already treated, now he is healthy, he doesn't have fever, but sometimes what happens that the joints will pain for 8 to 10 months. Still the pain in the joints, pain in the muscle can be felt. So that is why it is a very uh, difficult to handle, because when joints are paining, you cannot do the work properly. Okay, so this is how the chikungunya can be enlisted. And have you seen this, the type of mosquitoes we have written? So mosquitoes are basically the vectors for many of the uh, uh, pathogens. So that is why government or the person who are coming from the uh, research background, they are just always telling us to kill the mosquitoes, because when in your house you cannot identify, okay, oh fine, this is Anopheles, this is Aedes. You cannot do that. You can have Aedes in your house also, you can have Anopheles in the house also, you can both of them in your house. So that is why government is forcing you, or the television ads must be telling you that kill the mosquito to get rid of the diseases. Understood this? And you may ask me that why only the females are used as vector. Have you had that thought? Why only the females we are taking?
Yes, miss.
What is the reason? Can you give me? Why not males? Why we cannot take male Anopheles mosquitoes?
Mm,
Fine. It is the reason because only the females bites. Males don't bite. Okay. So that is the simple reason we take the females as a vectors. That is why Plasmodium selected females as their vehicles, not the males. Plasmodium will not be found in the male mosquitoes. It will be only present in the female mosquitoes. So see how smart the pathogens are, how smart the causal organisms are. They know what to select and how to select. Understood? So that much level of smartness is there in the pathogens also. So they know what to do. If you have to go from one bottle to another, then they know what they have to do. So that is why the female is being selected, because only they can bite. Male one cannot bite to anybody. So not good for males, but it's okay. Sometimes females do such things. Okay, fine. Okay, how do they? Your question is, if only female bites, then how do male get their food when they don't bite us or anyone? Okay, see, female is biting us. Reason is because female have eggs inside it. Okay, eggs type of nutrition fact also with them. Okay, I'm coming with that. Droplet infection also I will be teaching you. Okay. So till now is it understood by you? Your question is what is droplet infection, and that will be taken separately after this. Okay. So till now, if it is okay, then just try to prepare this chart on your own without. First, what you have to do is just read your textbook content for the diseases. Read each and every line, each and every word. Then prepare this chart. Prepare chart on your own without referring to your textbook. Got it? Do this on your own. You will have the memory, and you will prepare the all these 6 to 7 diseases, whatever is given in your book, on your own, and you are ready for your exams even. Okay, you don't have for a and during exams you don't have to read each and everything. Just prepare this chart and you will be aware that in exams what you should know. Understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just prepare this chart
yes, miss.
without referring your textbooks. Don't refer to them.
Okay,
Okay.
miss.
Okay, do that for the next class. So till here it's okay, and we will be following the droplet infection after this, and then you have some uh, vaccinations and all that. That is also a very good topic to understand, that we will be covering in the next class. Is it clear to you?
Miss,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, any doubts?
Miss, can you pick up the camera a little?
The book, I have to keep some at angle.
No, Miss, I want to take a screenshot.
For this chart.
Yes, Miss.
Oh, my handwriting is very bad. Just, is it okay?
Yes, Miss. Thank you, Miss.
Fine. So just try and see. There may be the possibility. Don't cheat yourself, beta. When you are preparing a chart, once you have gone through your textbook, just prepare the chart on your own. Okay. See how much you can remember, how much you can write. Basically, with the symptoms, because I think the place you will get confused is just the symptoms column. Okay, just do write it, and once everything is written, all the diseases are completed, then what you have to do is then check with your textbook, the one which you have not the one which is missed by you, any of them, any of the column which is missed by you, just read it again and prepare the chart again. Once or twice you are doing this, then you will be thorough with the diseases. Is it clear to you?
Yes, Miss.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
fine. Okay, so just let me know this. I want to ask you one thing that uh, diseases and first aid we are doing. After this, nervous system and endocrine system is remaining for your syllabus. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, rest of the other chapters are already completed. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So, nervous system and endocrine system is remaining. That will be followed by after this. And just once you are free in a day, whenever you have the time, just send me the pictures of nervous system and endocrine system too.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, fine. That's all for today.
Good morning and thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Yeah, goodbye, beta. Have a good day.